welcome to States Unlocked. In this video we're going to be talking about the differences between internal locus of control and external locus of control. So this is also known as internal locus of evaluation and external locus of evaluation. And so you don't have to be one or the other. These are fundamentally two different states that we operate from. We can have an internal locus of control or evaluation in one area of our life and an external locus of control or evaluation in another area of our lives. However, we do tend to favor one over the other. I'm going to be talking first of all about the internal locus of control and just explaining a little more about what that is. So the internal locus of control is fundamentally when you self-reference your experience. So let's say you are having a disagreement with somebody and let's say you've fallen out with 5 people. Okay, let's say it's your family members or people, let's say a group of friends, for example. And you are an internal, you are someone who internally references, you have an internal locus of control primarily, and an internal locus of evaluation. So basically, essentially what that means is that you wouldn't necessarily be checking outwards for how you should think or feel on this situation. You would be checking in with yourself and thinking, what do I think of this situation? And your referencing point would be internal. Okay, that's what it's called, internal locus of control. Now, an external locus of control is self-explanatory. It's the opposite of that. It's when you start to externally reference. So, for example, let's say this 5 group of friends are all criticizing you and telling you that you are wrong and you have behaved in a bad way, and perhaps they're wrong, perhaps you haven't, perhaps you're actually the one in the right and they're ganging up on you. And if you have an internal locus of control, you would have a lot more capacity to be able to say, okay, let me check in with myself, no, this is wrong, and you'd be able to reject what they're saying. The stronger that you have an external locus of control, you're going to let their words affect you a lot more. You're going to be saying, oh, well, they're all saying this. And so it's basically going to affect you a lot more because you're holding store on what's going on externally to self-reference, to you. So the reason I'm now going to talk about the pros and cons of these things. So if you have too much of an internal locus of control and evaluation, it can mean that sometimes you don't get to see the other person's perspective and that you are not able to take on board someone else's point of view, and perhaps there is another way of seeing things, and perhaps you might have behaved in a better way, but because you're internally referencing too much, you can't see the other perspective. The benefit of having an internal locus of control primarily is that you are self-assured, and it's less likely that people are going to be able to gaslight you, which means, to basically get you to doubt your reality or to rewrite what's actually going on and to infiltrate your experience. Now, neither one of these is good or bad in and of themselves because it completely depends on the factors at play. So, for example, a time when it might be really good to have an internal locus of evaluation and control is when you are with people that aren't very pleasant and that lie or are sociopathic, and they actually want you to feel self-doubt. And if you have an internal locus of evaluation or control, it's less likely to bother you because you're going to think, well, I am internally evaluating the situation and I'm thinking the other person is at fault. And so it can be of great benefit there. But on the flip side, if you're dealing with somebody who's really kind and you just have too much of an internal locus of control and evaluation, it can actually stop you from seeing where the other person's coming from. Now, I'm by no means an expert on this topic, but it's something that really interests me personally because I have seen in my own life um, the benefits of at times having an internal locus of control and the downsides of having too much of an external locus of control. And I definitely think it's really important to develop an internal locus of control as much as you can. While you want to be able to switch between the two and to not be completely rigid, you want to do this in the sense that the external world is very much out of your control. So other people's behavior is out of your control. I'm going to qualify what I'm saying in a second because there are definitely things you can control. But the point is that you can control only yourself in life. You can't control other people. You can't control other people's emotions, other people's feelings, other people's actions, other people's words. And if you're placing your self-esteem at the hands of other people's behavior, then you're going to be really unhappy because other people's behavior is out of your control and you're going to feel powerless. And feeling powerful and empowered and that you can take control is something that we inherently need to feel because it gives us a sense of our own power and strength. If we're constantly externally referencing, having an external locus of evaluation and control, we're essentially allowing the outside world to define us. So, for example, if I have an external locus of control and you tell me, actually, I think you're a really bad person and you're this and you're that, and I'm completely externally referencing, then I'm giving you the power to define me. I'm giving you the power to control how I feel and to affect my self-esteem. Whereas if I develop an internal locus of control, I am able to say, let me go on my own personal reference of myself and my experience in life. Actually, that's not true, and this person's just trying to make me feel bad. I'm just going to reject what they're saying. So it can be really important to try and develop an internal locus of control. I do think it plays such a key role in self-esteem and in happiness. And the reason it's such a vital component for people to look at in their own lives is because whether you have an internal locus of control or an external locus of control, it really affects one, how your life is, like the quality of your life, your emotions, your feelings in general. But it also affects how people respond to you because, for example, if you have an internal locus of evaluation and control, you're going to be a lot less anxious, a lot more at ease. You're going to feel a sense of worth because essentially you're making the rules to your life and someone else isn't making the rules to your life. And that can put you in a sense of control and just feel that you have a sense of autonomy and empowerment and you know what's what. And that can be very attractive to another person. On the flip side, if you are externally referencing, it can make you incredibly anxious and it can definitely repel people as well. So these are definitely things to look into if you're struggling with self-esteem issues or if you're feeling a lack of control. I would encourage you to investigate this topic more. This video is by no means a full picture of what internal locus of control and external locus of control are. I'm still discovering things every day myself and learning every day myself. But I thought I would give you an introduction on the topic and I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one.